so we continue the Tony Ryan Showcase. And the Tony Ryan Showcase comes with Mondays to Wednesdays from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And on Thursdays from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Main sponsor, Healthy Living Health Food Store, located at 3956 White Plains Road, Bronx, between 224th and 225th Streets. We can produce all your vitamins, your minerals, your supplements in general. Also, we can produce your vegan standard breakfast, lunch, and dinner, Mondays to Saturdays. And while there, you can choose from a wide assortment of vegetable patties, your ackee, collier, kale, lentil, and so on, okay? And your vegan standard pastry. Also, all of that right there at Healthy Living Health Food Store. Remember, 3956 White Plains Road, the Bronx, between 224th and 225th Streets. Also at Healthy Living, you can get rid of your blood pressure problem. With the blood pressure resolved, get rid of the diabetes with the diabetes be gone. Get rid of the excess cholesterol with the cholesterol cleanse. Fellas, get rid of the frequent urination, the weak urination, the after dribble, the erectile dysfunction, the premature ejaculation. All of that with the Roots of Fixer. Available only at Healthy Living Health Food Store. And you must know about our very effective weight loss program. Also, any other health concern that you may have, you may bring it to our attention because we do consultation. Mondays to Fridays from noon until 7 p.m. on Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We also do mail order. Again, our location 3956 White Plains Road, Bronx. Yes, between 224th and 225th Streets. Telephone number is 718-798-0773. Again, 718-798-0773. Healthy Living is where health lives. I'm saying pleasant, special good evening to Fidel Luna and also Omar the Pacifier for joining yours truly. Really appreciate your company in the room. You can join us on Facebook. And Omar is saying, good evening, Mr. Ryan. Happy Monday. Greetings from rainy South Florida. Oh, okay. So it's not Sunshine State this time, eh? Guess what? At some point, the rain is going to stop. And as you should know by now, I love the rain. Really, really love the rain. You know, so, hey, enjoy it for both of us. All right? Well, as always, every Tony Ryan Showcase, we must pause and give credence to the master to come together yet one more time. So we're going to do it like this. Again, the Tony Ryan Showcase. Good afternoon.
Heaven help the child who never had a home. Heaven help the girl who walks the streets alone. Heaven help the roses if the bombs begin to fall. Heaven help us all. Heaven help the black man if he struggles one more day. Heaven help the white man if he turns back away. Heaven help the man who kicks the man who has to crawl. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Help us all. Heaven help us, Lord, hear our call. Heaven help the boy before I go to sleep. In a troubled world, I pray the Lord to keep hatred from the mighty and the mighty from the small. Heaven help us all.
Yes, indeed. Again, this is the Tony Ryan Showcase, and this is a very special day. Yeah, well, all days are special, real, but today it is Memorial Day. Yeah, remembering the people who fought and died. Hi, Beverly Morgan, my dearest. Thank you for joining yours truly, man. Thank you so much. Yeah. And the people who fought and gave their lives, and people who are still doing that, yeah. As we speak, as I speak, you know, people are still laying down their lives for defending the country and to uphold the Constitution and what have you. And we ought to be very grateful to these people. We have to remember them, and also respect them. You know, I really and truly do have a problem with a lot of things that's happening in this country at this time. Really have problems with quite a few of the things, but at the same time, I live here. I willfully, knowingly took the oath to uphold the Constitution of this country, became a citizen. No one forced me. Yeah? I willingly did that. That gives me the right to speak as an American. Yeah? I clearly remember being told when after I'd taken the oath, that I should not allow anyone to tell me that I am less of an American than someone else. I know that, and I understood the person clearly what she was saying. She made it crystal clear. Don't allow anybody to tell you that you're less of an American. I guess it's something that I could also say I will never allow anyone to tell me that I'm less of an African, which is true. Yeah? One is my heritage, one is my nationality. Kind of very simple. And when I'm going to think about it, and I'm saying, wait a minute, but I have a daughter who was a member of the Marine quite a while. Then she became a reserve of the Army. I have a grandson at West Point. I'm saying, wait a minute, but I really do have a right to be concerned about things that are happening in this country, because I do have people who are directly involved. What I don't like is someone who is quick to talk about, we're going to fight this, we're going to fight that, quick to talk about who should be kicked out of the country, who should be put out of a job because you speak or you protest, you know. And this is a person who dodged the draft 5 times. Not once, not twice, not 5 times. This person does not have the right to talk about defending the United States, defending the Constitution of the United States, who's a citizen and who's not a citizen. This person is a draft dodger. This person would did everything in their powers or in his powers not to be an honorable person or honorable American. How are you going to tell me, you're going to separate children from parents and you're going to do all these kind of things as a draft dodger because somehow the American public slept at the wheel and, with the help of Russia, you became the president. You do not have the right. No, you don't. When I talk about heaven help us, seriously, for the next, couple of years, maybe, heaven help us to keep us out of harm's way, because if it's up to this person, only God knows what will happen. Yeah?
Heaven help the child who never had a home. Heaven help the girl who walks the streets alone. Heaven help the roses if the bombs begin to fall. Heaven help us all. Heaven help the black man if he struggles one more day. Heaven help the white man if he turns back away. Heaven help the man who kicks the man who has to crawl. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Heaven help us all. Help us all. Heaven help us, Lord, hear our call when we fall. Oh, yeah. Heaven help the boy who won't reach 21. Heaven help the man who gave that boy a gun. Heaven help the people with their backs against the wall. Lord, heaven help us all. Heaven help us. Oh, yeah. Oh, all right. Oh, help us all, Lord. Oh, help us all. Lord, hear our call when we fall. Oh, help us all. Now lay me down before I go to sleep. In a troubled world, I pray the Lord to keep hatred from the mighty and the mighty from the small. Heaven help us all.
Again, this is the Tony Ryan Showcase. Let me also say welcome inside the Tony Ryan Showcase to Jean-Louis. Thank you for joining yours truly. Really appreciate it, yes. Remember, you can listen to yours truly on Facebook. Send me a friend request and I will gladly accept it. And so therefore, whenever I'm on, you will be notified. That's the first thing. Secondly, on Mondays, you can listen to yours truly, not only on Unity 96.1 FM, but you can also listen to yours truly on foundationradio.com. All right? Just put in Clinton Lindsay, foundationradio.com, and you can listen to yours truly. Or you can go on Facebook, put in Tony Ryan live stream, that's Tony Ryan live stream, and you will be able to listen. You'll be able to listen live also. You'll be able to listen whenever I'm on, yeah? And also you can listen to some of the programs there posted on YouTube. The only thing is that sometimes I play songs on Facebook and also YouTube will choose to omit those songs from there from the presentation, you know. Also, hey, pleasant good afternoon to and welcome inside the Tony Ryan Showcase. George O'Connor, long time no see, for real. Long time no see, man. You know, yes, man. We have to get together to chat, yeah? So, I'm saying, you know, which also I should point out that George O'Connor, who just joined yours truly, also was a Marine. And I left out a nephew of mine who went to battle in Afghanistan and also in Iraq. Matter of fact, he did 2 tours in Iraq and was then shipped off to Afghanistan. So he did three tours. And really and truly, stop this, and to have someone say, just telling people about defending America and doing America, and is a draft dodger, is really harmful, really hurtful, you know. He seriously does not have the right to talk anything about the United States and making the United States great again. If it was up to him, the United States would be what? Still a British colony. Yeah. It was up to people like him, the United States would still be a British colony. Yeah, for real. You see? However, let me get back to what I'm talking about, what I should be talking about. Yes, you can find yours truly on many places, especially on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You can find me on Foundation Radio Network. You can find me on RulerBrownNetwork.com. You can find me on Arizona Radio, yeah? You can also find me on 25th Century Radio, okay? If you don't find me one place, you can find me all the rest of, right? So, and that is Mondays. I'm on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. And on Thursdays, 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Hopefully, this coming Wednesday, we'll have once more Mr. Marcus Hilton from the accounting firm of Marcus Hilton. And then we will talk about money matters. And on Thursdays, as always, we have Immigration and Internet Law, Mr. Winston Tucker. Okay? Take a quick break and return with very important information. We'll be talking about the Colin Kaepernick situation. We'll be talking about some of the history regarding how the Star and Spangled Banner became what it is today, and the history of all of that. So, the Hungry Earth True time is now 5:44, 16 minutes for the hour of 6.
Healthy Living Health Food Store, located at 3956 White Plains Road in the Bronx, between 224th and 225th Streets, where you can purchase all your vitamins and other supplements. Your vegan standard breakfast, lunch, and dinner Mondays to Saturdays. Get rid of diabetes with the Diabetes Be Gone, high blood pressure with the High Blood Pressure Resolve, high cholesterol with the Cholesterol Cleanse. Fellows, all your prostate and bedroom problems with the Rooster Fixer, frequent and weak urination, the after dribble, erectile dysfunction, and premature ejaculation. And ladies, all the female health issues, get rid of them. Bring to our attention any other health concern you may have, because we do consultations Mondays to Saturdays from 12 noon to 7 p.m. Call to make an appointment. We also do mail order. The address is 3956 White Plains Road in the Bronx, between 224th and 225th Streets, or call 718-798-0773. Again, 718-798-0773.
And remember, when you're there at Healthy Living, you can choose from a wide assortment of vegetable patties, your ackee, your collard, your kale, your lentil, and so on, yeah? Also at Healthy Living, while there, you can purchase your vegan standard pastry. Yes, indeed. All of that right there at Healthy Living Health Food Store. And also your alkaline water. Again, Healthy Living, 3956 White Plains Road, The Bronx, between 224th and 225th Streets. Telephone number is 718-798-0773. Again, 718-798-0773. Healthy Living is where health lives.
It's been 10 years. Time has certainly flown by. The Let's Talk radio show with John Hines and Company is now being listened throughout the Northeast, Jamaica, the Southeast, and among places from all over the world. So come and celebrate our 10th anniversary awards dinner and dance at the Wembley Cricket Club on Saturday, June 30th, starting at 10 p.m. We're going for the very best this year. Our DJs are the famous DJ Roy of 93.5 FM and DJ Street Ruler of 92.9 FM. Our artists, AZ, Tony Lowe, Derek of Derek's Auto. Awardees include Winston Pine, Winston Morgan, Dr. Lawrence Williams, DJ Roy, Courtney Smith, Donovan Griffiths, Miss Lois Williams, and a special thank you to all those who have listened or contributed to the show, including our co-hosts, Donovan Griffiths, Courtney Smith, and Michael Soares. Contributions are $40 single and $70 per couple. Dinner is included, and tickets are available at Moody's Records, Primetime Bakery, West Best Fish in Mount Vernon, through John Hines, Courtney Smith, or Donovan Griffiths. See you at our anniversary at Wembley's.
Yes, indeed. Well, guess what? It is time for us to show some appreciation to Mr. Hines, yeah. Because for 10 years, he has been giving of himself selflessly, yeah. Bringing information and allowing you to come on and talk what's on your mind. And we really should show our appreciation for that, yeah. Now, if you're having problems with student loans, medical bills, bankruptcies, late payments, collection accounts, tax liens, then you must give Mrs. Tracy Ann Bagaloo a call. She's one of the representatives of Financial Education Services. And Mrs. Tracy and Mrs. Bagaloo's number is 954-639-2404. Again, 954-639-2404. And you must remember the name. It is Mrs. Tracy Ann Bagaloo, okay? Also, if you want a better experience visiting the dentist, you must visit mine. His name is Dr. Roy Street, and he is located at 739 East 230th Street between Barnes and White Plains Road. Again, 739 East 230th Street between Barnes and White Plains Road. Or give him a call at 718-652-3978. Again, 718-652-3978. And the name again is Dr. Roy Street, okay?
Stop suffering from diabetes. Stop suffering. Healthy Living Health Food Store located at 3956 White.
And I think I have the wrong thing lined up here. So let's do this again.
Marcus Hilton.
There you go.
Certified Public Accountants. Located at 4226A White Plains Road at 234th Street in the Bronx. Have been serving the public for over 30 years in the areas of income tax return preparation and all other income tax services, including payroll services, accounting services, and individual tax ID number preparation. If you do not have a Social Security number and would like to file your tax return, Marcus Hilton, Certified Public Accountant, is one of the few tax services registered with the IRS to assist with a tax ID number. They are experts in the tax laws, so they will find what other tax preparers miss, maximizing your dollar return. For the self-employed or corporate people, they are also experts in those areas. Marcus Hilton, Certified Public Accountant, is located again at 4226A White Plains Road at 234th Street in the Bronx. Their telephone number is 718-554-0640. Again, that's 718-554-0640.
And if you're looking for a very effective immigration attorney, then you need not look any further than Immigration Attorney at Law, Mr. Winston Tucker. He can represent you anywhere within the United States. And as an expert, he will be able to tell you what your best options are. Give Immigration Attorney at Law, Mr. Winston Tucker, a call at 718-276-8767. Again, 718-276-8767. Now, when you call, if you're unable to speak with him directly, you may send him a text. Use the same number, 718-276-8767. Now, when you're able to speak with him, mention the Tony Ryan Showcase and you will receive an incentive for doing so. That also goes to the accounting firm of Marcus Hilton, Mrs. Tracy and Bagalu, representing Financial Education Services, Chef 2, the restaurant. Yeah, wow, I didn't play that, yeah? And also my dentist, Dr. Roy Street. Okay, so I did not, oh, okay. I made a boo-boo. Time is now 5:52, 8 minutes before the hour of 6.
Start your morning with our delicious breakfast. The ackee and saltfish, the salt mackerel, the cook-up saltfish, the callaloo, the corned beef, the kidney and the liver. How about the saltfish and the okra? All served with boiled dumplings, yam, banana or fried dumplings. All served with white rice, rice and peas, and steamed vegetable. Eat now, start this up. Try our most talked about porridge a morning time. The blend of oats porridge, the peanut porridge, the cornmeal porridge. Mamma mia! For soup lovers, on Fridays and Saturdays, go take soup. Don't forget to try our daily chicken foot soup for lunch and dinner. Chef It Too is always a winner. The jerk chicken, the brown stew chicken, curry chicken, baked chicken, fried chicken for the fish lovers. The fried fish, the brown stew fish, escovis fish, shrimp lovers. Visit Chef It Too on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Lovers of stewpies, visit Chef It Too on Thursdays and Saturdays. Come and visit us on Fridays for tripe and beans and sweet and sour chicken. Call us at 718-994-6532. 718-994-6532. Don't forget, we cater for all occasions. Chef It Too Restaurant, 4759B, White Plains Road. Call us at 718-994-6532. That's 718-994-6532.
Yes, indeed, Chef It Too, the restaurant, okay? You know, so the time is now 5:54, 6 minutes before the hour of 6. And here we have now this new rule coming down for the NFL, that either you're going to stay in the locker room or you're going to stand for the singing of the anthem. That is the latest regarding that. What I cannot understand is how people, or the people at the helm of this thing, cannot see or refuse to see that what Colin Kaepernick is doing has nothing to do with the anthem. It has nothing to do with disrespecting the anthem, the flag. Matter of fact, they're exercising a right to protest. Yeah? And especially exactly what the protest is all about. Incidentally, he's not the first, the second or third or what have you person to take a knee during the anthem. No. Protesting different things. The treatment of women is one of the things that were protested using the knee, taking a knee during the singing of the national anthem. And as someone pointed out, that, yeah, you're talking about a person taking a knee. What about those folks, while the anthem is playing, who is busy drinking them beer, buying whatever they're buying, don't even hear the anthem? Oh, aren't those people being disrespectful? Let me tell you something. I remember 1962 living in Jamaica, and we had just gained what is quote-unquote independence. That's very laughable, actually. Independence, so-called independence. And every school child had to learn the national anthem. Also had to respect the anthem to the point where if you go to the theater, the anthem would play before the main event and everyone would rise and put their hand over their hearts. Yeah? That was how it was. Now, I've seen a breakdown in that over time. People, would just simply go about their business willy-nilly as if nothing is happening, nothing special is happening, nothing is being played. And I've seen that here. Many ball games, many different type of events and occasions and so on, and the anthem is being played, and the same thing happens. So why is it such a big thing to those folks for Colin Kaepernick saying, no, I'm protesting something quite serious here. Listen, we're going to go into a session break on Unity Radio 96.1 FM, but I'm going to remain live on Facebook and also on YouTube. Let's listen to Colin Kaepernick, an interview with him. I'll play just a part of it, so you can hear why he decided to start taking this knee and the seriousness of the whole thing. Listen to this.
What would you like this to be the end game for you?
That's basically. Ultimately, it's to bring awareness and make people, realize what's really going on in this country. There are a lot of things that are going on that are unjust. People aren't being held accountable for, and that's something that needs to change. That's something that, this country stands for: freedom, liberty, justice for all, and it's not happening for all right now.
Is this something that's evolved as a philosophy in your mind, and how has this kind of progressed that you make a stand like this?
It's something that I've seen, I've felt, wasn't quite sure how to deal with originally, and it is something that's evolved. It's something, as I've gained more knowledge about, what's going on in this country in the past, what's going on currently. These aren't new situations. This isn't new ground. It's things that have gone on in this country for years and years and have never been addressed, and they need to be.
Will you continue, Colin, to sit? Will you continue to sit?
Yes, I'll continue to sit. I'm going to continue to stand with the people that are being oppressed. To me, this is something that has to change, and when there's significant change, and I feel like that flag represents what it's supposed to represent, and this country is representing people the way that it's supposed to, I'll stand.
Specifically, what would you like to see change in order for you to stand?
There's a lot of things that need to change. One specifically is police brutality. There's people being murdered unjustly and not being held accountable. Cops are getting paid leave for killing people. That's not right. That's not right by anyone's standards.
Colin, so many people see the flag as kind of a symbol of military. How do you view it, and what do you say to those people?
You know, I have great respect for men and women that have fought for this country. I have family, I have friends that have gone and fought for this country. And they fight for freedom. They fight for the people. They fight for liberty and justice for everyone. And that's not happening. I mean, people are dying in vain because this country isn't holding their end of the bargain up as far as, you know, giving freedom and justice and liberty to everybody. It's something that's not happening. And I've seen videos, I've seen circumstances where men and women that have been in the military have come back and been treated unjustly by the country they fought for and have been murdered by the country they fought for on our land. That's not right.
Do you personally feel oppressed? Personally?
There have been situations where I feel like I've been ill-treated, yes, but this stand wasn't for me. This stand wasn't because I feel like I'm being put down in any kind of way. This is because I'm seeing things happen to people that don't have a voice, people that don't have a platform to talk and have their voices heard and affect change. So I'm in a position where I can do that, and I'm going to do that for people that can't.
Is this the first year that you haven't stood up? Did you do it other years, or is this the first time?
This year's the first year that I've done this.
You did all the preseason games so far?
Yes.
This is the first time it was noticed?
Yes.
How did your teammates respond when you explained yourself today, and what was the support like for you?
The support I've got from my teammates has been great. You know, I think a lot of my teammates come from areas where this might be a situation. Their families might be put in this situation. It's something that I've had a lot of people come up to me and say, you know, I really respect you for what you're doing and what you're standing for. So to me, that's something that I know what I'm doing, what's right, and I know other people see what I'm doing is right. It's something that we have to come together, we have to unite, we have to unify and make a change.
What do you say to the people that say, hey, you're doing the right thing, but you're going about it the wrong way?
I don't understand how it's the wrong way. To me, this is a freedom that we're allowed in this country. And going back to the military thing, it's a freedom that men and women that have fought for this country have given me this opportunity by the contributions they have made. So I don't see it as going about it the wrong way. This is something that has to be said. It has to be brought to the forefront of everyone's attention. And when that's done, I think people can realize what the situation is and then really affect change.
You've done it every preseason game. Are you almost relieved that it took this game and the questioning that followed to let your voice be heard?
It wasn't something that I really planned as far as it blowing up. It was something that I personally decided I just can't stand for what this represents right now. It's not right. And the fact that it has blown up like this, I think is a good thing. You know, it brings awareness. Everybody knows what's going on, and this sheds more light on it. Now, I think people are really talking about it, having conversations about how to make change, what's really going on in this country, and we can move forward.
Are you concerned this is seen as like a blanket indictment of law enforcement in general?
What was that?
Are you concerned that it can be seen as a blanket indictment against law enforcement in general?
As far as what? I don't really understand what you're trying to get at.
People getting murdered by police. I mean, do you think that it's seen as sort of an indictment against police?
There is police brutality.
Yeah.
People of color have been targeted by police. So that's a large part of it. And they're government officials. They're put in place by the government. So, you know, that's something that this country has to change. There's things we can do to, you know, hold them more accountable, make those standards higher. You have people that practice law and are lawyers and go to school for 8 years, but you can become a cop in 6 months and don't have to have the same amount of training as a cosmetologist. That's insane. I mean, someone that's holding a curling iron has more education and more training than people that have a gun and are going out on the street to protect us.
Colin, you said doing stuff beyond sitting.
What was that?
Do you plan on doing
stuff beyond sitting during the national anthem, as far as activists kind of rolling your sleeves up and getting out in the communities?
Yeah, most definitely. There are things that I have in the works right now that I'm working on to, put together in the future and come to fruition soon. Those are things that I'll talk about as we get closer to those days.
Colin, you say that it's a good thing that this is blowing up now because it's getting some attention. Any concern about the timing of it, a critical part of training camp, and the possibility of it being a distraction?
No, I don't see it as a distraction. I think it's something that can unify this team. It's something that can unify this country. If we have these real conversations that are uncomfortable for a lot of people, if we have these conversations, there's a better understanding where both sides are coming from. And if we reach common ground and can understand what everybody's going through, we can really affect change and make sure that everybody's treated equally and has the same freedom.
Cap, has anybody from the league or the team or anybody said tone it down or anything? Because clearly you're speaking your mind right now. It doesn't seem that anyone's trying to, from the organization, whatever, is trying to quiet you.
No one's tried to quiet me, and to be honest, it's not something I'm gonna be quiet about. I'm gonna speak the truth when I'm asked about it. This isn't for a look, this isn't for publicity or anything like that. This is for people that don't have the voice. And this is for people that are being oppressed and need to have equal opportunities, to be successful, to provide for their families and not live in poor circumstances.
And I pause it there for a moment to let me say welcome inside the Tune Ranch Showcase to one of my favorite people, Miss Juanita Lawson. Darling, thank you for joining yours truly. Also to my nephew down there in Jamaica, Mr. George Moody. I saw you at work. Yes, and I saw your work, sir, in Ensom City. George is a counselor for the Ensom City area. And this past Labor Day, I saw him working alongside the folks. He's always doing that because he's a hands-on counselor. And I love that, working alongside the folks, showing them out, leading by example. And I love that. Really, I really admire my nephew. Really, really do. Can someone tell me when is a good time to protest? When's the best time to protest? Because I really do not know of a good time to protest or a better time to protest. Do you think that you're doing this the wrong time? So when is the right time? People are dying, or folks are dying daily at the hands of the police. And someone is saying, do you think it's a good time for us to be talking about police brutality and police murder? I prefer to refer to it as the lynching or the continuation of the lynching from a different spin. In fact, it was last week or the week before. 2 Africans were lynched right here in this country. Yeah. Lynched, hung up on trees and hung. So, when is a good time to protest? It reminds me of that thing that took place a few Saturdays ago regarding this royal wedding, and this minister got up and he spoke about love and about the absence of love and even slavery and so on. I was talking to the very folks who were directly responsible for the enslavement and the murdering of millions of people from Africa. And they said it chose the wrong place to do it. Almost 2 billion people looking on, and that's not a good time to talk about that. That's a great time to talk about that. It's a great time to voice your argument and make your argument. So, when is a good time to protest? I am still at a loss as to when is a good time. Because they keep saying this, you should know that, well, they've shut down this guy's career. And he's saying, because you protest against police brutality and police murder in particular, you and your family should not eat. That's what the pause there are saying, you know. Now, I put it to you and I ask a question. What civil-minded individual, what decent individual would make such a statement? In fact, there's a person in my office who's saying that the Africans need to stop this talking. And if you listen, let me just clarify something here, you see. I do not refer to people in terms of color, complexion, and so on. I don't. For years now, I don't. Because no one is white. Let me get that crystal clear. No one is white. Because if somebody woke up one morning and realized that they were white or getting white, they'd find their behind to the doctor because they're dying. You have no blood. You're dying. So no one is white. And no one is black. No one is white. No one is black. So I refer to people in terms of their heritage. So you have the Caucasian, you have the African, you have the Indian, and you have the Asian. That's it. So when I say the African, I'm talking about people that are melanin, whether they're from east, west, north, or south. It makes no difference. Yeah? So as I was saying, whether you were born here in this country or in the Caribbean, as long as you have a lot of melanin, and I use the term Africans parochially, another time I get into that. Yeah? So when you get down to it, what kind of decent individual? Somebody saying, we need to stop talking, because the country is such a beautiful place. No, there's no racism taking place here. And we allow these people now to play in our games, and they start to be able to own it. Someone in our place said that, We gave them the opportunity. I know they are behaving as if they own it. Look, we do understand that it is a troublesome subject. Racism is a troublesome, gives one a very uneasy feeling, especially those who practices racism, bigotry. Of course it's uneasy because it makes one uncomfortable. Why are you complaining? Yeah, I know I have my foot on your throat, but why are you uncomfortable? I'm not uncomfortable. What's your problem? I'm not complaining. What's your problem? Yeah, I know that. I'm killing you all. I mean, whenever I get a chance, every opportunity I get. But what's your problem? You should have a problem with that. No. Look on something that was said in terms of training by Mr. Kaepernick. Look on what he said. The amount of training that a police officer gets. And you put a gun and a badge in his hand. Yeah. You have to try. Why is it? How much background check really goes into hiring a police officer? Because you cannot tell me, there's no one who can tell me that proper due diligence was done in terms of hiring these police officers who go out there and just murder people, beat up people. I saw in a supermarket where a police officer was mercilessly beating a woman, a homeless woman, mercilessly. They choose that to be a police? That is good policing? Nobody can tell me about policing. Nobody can tell me about policing. That is racism. That is not policing. You understand me? that is racism to the max, not policing. And you know, why is it? And let me say welcome also to Randolph, Rudy Manning. Give thanks for joining us, truly, my brother, in the chat room. Look, man, why is it we're not seeing the videos with policemen murdering their own people? I'm going to tell you what we see. We see somebody come in and shoot up a place and kill how many people in a school. And policemen talk him out and pamper him and get him to put down the gun and disarm him and all of this sort of thing. That is one picture. You have someone in a store looking at a toy gun and police come in and murder him. A toy gun. Wallet. That becomes a gun automatically. He's dead. Person's dead. So for somebody to tell me that these people are not racist, they would have the time of their life to convince me that this is in fact proper policing and not racism. Because I can't see it. I cannot see it any other way. So it is one, there should be protests all over the place, not just by the African, but by the Caucasian and everybody else should be protesting and saying, no, this is wrong. You can't do that. How are you going to do that? And you're getting paid leave when you murder somebody. I cannot see it, you know. Give thanks to that, brother Manning. Give thanks to that. And same to you, man. Same to you. More life. More life. Something is wrong with the picture. And I choose today, because it's Memorial Day, to remember not just the police, not just the soldiers who have lost their lives. Because I'm sure quite a few of these soldiers, African soldiers, and even some Caucasian soldiers, if they were around, would take a knee. So it has nothing to do with disrespecting the people defending our country. It has absolutely nothing to do with disrespecting the flag or the anthem. No. It is a protest to say, this is wrong. This is wrong. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie when there's a debate, something about debate with Denzel Washington, when one of the youngsters said, we have a choice, either take up arms or to get aggressive or to debate this. You should be happy that we decided to talk about this. You see? I would never ever incite violence into this, because you know what? I've said it so many times. You cannot win. The African cannot win in a physical confrontation with the racists. You can't. Just more lives would be lost. But there is certainly a way in which our voices can be heard. A very, very effective way. If only we could pull it off. Or the killing of our family members would stop immediately. Yeah. And I'll tell you how. If we could simply get together and withhold all our funds, the 1-point-something trillion that's reported, and it's actually more, but we're going to go along with the figure, 1-point-something trillion that we spend per year, if we spend it among ourselves, go back to Black Wall Street, and have several different pockets of Black Wall Street in New York, all over the country, in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, in Queens, Staten Island, Long Island, all over, of some pockets of Black Wall Street. Trust me, in less than no time, one, our communities would be definitely much better off in terms financially. Secondly, you get the respect, because we know for a fact that's one of the things that the powers that there be listens to. Yeah? 6:20 the time, 20 minutes after the hour of 6. And again, this is the Tony Ryan Showcase, and this is Memorial Day. Yeah. You know, again, thanks to all the folks who have given up so much. There is a call, a bugle call that is done whenever you have the passing of a military person. I remember the first time I had I was directly involved in our experience in this bugle call. As a member of the Boys Brigade, I was about 13 at the time when this happened. Where a member of the company that I was a member of passed away, and at his send-off, Maypen Cemetery, a gentleman by the name of Mr. Johnny Johnson, one of our head buglers, played this song, or blew this song, yeah? It's referred to as Last Post. We call it Last Post. It's also referred to as taps. Listen to the history of this.
Those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Before the advent of the field radio, the bugler was one of the most important members of a fighting force, since battlefield maneuvers were relayed by bugle calls. This is the grave of Civil War bugler John Cook. During the Battle of Antietam, he was nearby when the men of a Union artillery battery fell under heavy fire. Cook dropped his bugle and manned a station, earning himself a Medal of Honor at just 15 years of age. And one of the most familiar and emotionally powerful bugle melodies is taps. Its origins date back to the early days of the Civil War, but to the surprise of many, it was not intended to be used as a funeral ballad.
A state funeral with full military honors for a fallen president, John F. Kennedy. Millions around the world watch and listen as a haunting melody, glorious and somber, rings out.
Taps is universally known as an American call. It is uniquely American. You can play it anywhere in the world and people will automatically recognize the melody.
The origin of taps dates back to the Civil War and a Union general. In July of 1862, General Daniel Butterfield and his brigade are encamped at Harrison's Landing, Virginia. They are recovering from the battles known as the 7 Days, a struggle over the Confederate capital of Richmond that left over 29,000 men wounded or dead. Desiring something more melodious, Butterfield decides to change the bugle call used to order the troops to end their day. The call for lights out.
The call for lights out was a French call called extinguished lights, and it sounded like this. Now, it's a very military sounding call, and he wasn't very satisfied with those notes as being a call for the end of the day.
Butterfield has a replacement in mind, one that will help his men bear the heat, humidity, mud, and dysentery of those difficult days in July.
General Butterfield created taps out of an earlier bugle call that had gone out of use in the United States Army prior to the Civil War. And that call was known as the Scots Tattoo.
Tattoo is from a Dutch phrase meaning shut off the spigots. In other words, stop drinking and return to quarters. This tattoo comes from the Winfield Scott Military Manual of 1835, thus making it the Scots Tattoo.
The way that taps is different from the 1835 Scots Tattoo is that the notes are much longer, drawn out, and the bottom note, which was impossible to play, was taken out. So that the beginning of taps now that we know today sounds like this.
Taps, as the signal for the troops to end the day and begin rest, spreads quickly to other units throughout the Army, and even comes to be used by the Confederates. But the decision to use taps in a burial service arises out of necessity.
Shortly after the creation of taps, a captain in an artillery company had a burial ceremony for one of his cannoneers that had been killed. He was afraid of having the 3 traditional volleys fired at the funeral for fear that others would think that renewed fighting had started. So instead he decided to have the bugler sound the notes, the taps, and that's the first time that we have on record that taps was sounded at a funeral. After the Civil War, taps was played at funerals all the time, but it's not until 1891 that it's officially recognized in the manuals as being part of a military funeral.
"72 years later, November 25th, 1963, Arlington National Cemetery. The burial of a president."
The bugler who sounded taps that day was a Army bugler by the name of Keith Clark. He had been standing out here for about 3 hours or so waiting for the funeral procession to arrive, and it was very cold. So when you have the combination of very cold weather and knowing that over 20 million people are going to be listening to you, those are like the 2 worst enemies of any brass player. And the whole world remembers that he cracked one of the notes. There were newspapers and magazines that picked up on it, thinking that the bugler was showing emotion, that his lip, as one put it, quivered for the nation. It certainly was a mistake, but the fact that it has reached almost a folklore-type status in our country, it's a wonderful thing. It's like the crack in the Liberty Bell. It's always going to be there, and it will always be part of our American heritage.
Air Force Master Sergeant Yari Villanueva is one of the foremost authorities of this military coda. He shared these thoughts about taps. Its echoes linger in the heart long after its tones cease to vibrate in the air. Same can be said of those who made the ultimate sacrifice. Their legacy lingers, and their bravery is not forgotten. For the History Channel, I'm Josh Binswanger. Thanks for watching.
Yes, and that is taps. Let me say welcome to Donnell Grant. Thank you for joining us. Truly, thank you so much for being a part of the experience this afternoon. Okay, and the time is now 6:29, 29 minutes after the hour of 6, and I'm going to move straight from there to the history of the Star and Spangled Banner. Okay, how did this come about? And I said something earlier. I'm going to play this and I'm going to go back to repeating something I said earlier, okay? Listen to this, the history of the Star Spangled Banner.
There was a lawyer once. His name was Francis Scott Key. He penned a song that I'm sure you're aware of. You've seen it. It's in most hymnals throughout our churches. It's called the National Anthem. It is our song as an American. We go, however, to a ball game. We stand in our church services and we sing the words of that song, and they float over our minds and our lips, and we don't even realize what we're singing. Most of us have memorized it as a child, but we've never really thought about what it means. Let me tell you a story. Francis Scott Key was a lawyer in Baltimore. The colonies were engaged in vicious conflict with the mother country, Britain. Because of this conflict and the protractedness of it, they had accumulated prisoners on both sides. The American colonies had prisoners and the British had prisoners. And the American government initiated a move. They went to the British and they said, let us negotiate for the release of these prisoners. They said, we want to send a man out to discuss this with you. They were holding the American prisoners in boats about 1,000 yards offshore. And they said, we want to send a man by the name of Francis Scott Key. He will come out and negotiate to see if we can make a mutual exchange. On the appointed day in a rowboat, he went out to this boat and he negotiated with the British officials. And they reached a conclusion that men could be exchanged on a one-for-one basis. Francis Scott Key, jubilant with the fact that he'd been successful, went down below in the boats, and what he found was a cargo hold full of humanity, men. And he said, men, I've got news for you tonight. You're free. He said, tonight I have negotiated successfully your return to the colonies. He said, you'll be taken out of this boat, out of this filth, out of your chains. As he went back up on board to arrange for their passage to the shore, the admiral came and he said, we have a slight problem. He said, we will still honor our commitment to release these men, but it'll be merely academic after tonight. It won't matter. And Francis Scott Key said, what do you mean? He said, well, Mr. Key, he said, tonight we have laid an ultimatum upon the colonies. Your people will either capitulate and lay down the colors of that flag that you think so much of, or you see that fort right over there, Fort Henry? He said, we're going to remove it from the face of the earth. He said, how are you going to do that? He said, if you will, scan the horizon of the sea. And as he looked, he could see hundreds of little dots. And he said, that's the entire British war fleet. He said, all of the gunpowder, all of the armament is being called upon to demolish that fort. It will be here within striking distance in a matter of about 2.5 hours. He said, the war is over. These men would be free anyway. He said, you can't shell that fort. He said, that's a large fort. He said, it's full of women and children. He says, it's predominantly not a military fort. He said, don't worry about it. They said, we've left them a way out. And he said, what's that? He said, do you see that flag way up on the rampart? He said, we have told them that if they will lower that flag, the shelling will stop immediately. And we'll know that they've surrendered, and you'll now be under British rule. Francis Scott Key went down below and told the men what was about to happen. And they said, how many ships? He said, hundreds. The ships got closer. Francis Scott Key went back up on top and he said, men, I'll shout down to you what's going on as we watch. As twilight began to fall, and as the haze hung over the ocean as it does at sunset, suddenly the British war fleet unleashed. He says the sound was deafening. There were so many guns that there were no reliefs. He said it was absolutely impossible to talk or hear. He said suddenly the sky, although dark, was suddenly lit. And he says from down below, all he could hear the men, the prisoners, saying was, tell us where the flag is. What have they done with the flag? Is the flag still flying over the rampart? Tell us. 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours into the shelling, every time the bomb would explode and it would be close to the flag, they could see the flag in the illuminated red glare of that bomb, and Francis Scott Key would report down to the men below, it's still up. It's not down. The admiral came and he said, "Your people are insane." He said, "What's the matter with them?" He said, "Don't they understand this is an impossible situation?" Francis Scott Key said he remembered what George Washington had said. He said, "The thing that sets the American Christian apart from all other people in the world is he will die on his feet before he'll live on his knees." The admiral said, "We have now instructed all of the guns to focus on the rampart to take that flag down." He said, "We don't understand something. Our reconnaissance tells us that that flag has been hit directly again and again and again, and yet it's still flying. We don't understand that." But he said, "Now we're about to bring every gun for the next 3 hours to bear on that point." Francis Scott Key said the barrage was unmerciful. All that he could hear was the men down below praying. The prayer, "God, keep that flag flying where we last saw it." Sunrise came. He said there was a heavy mist hanging over the land, but the rampart was tall enough. There stood the flag, completely nondescript, in shreds. The flagpole itself was at a crazy angle, but the flag was still at the top. Francis Scott Key went aboard and immediately went into Fort Henry to see what had happened. And what he'd found had happened was that that flagpole and that flag had suffered repetitious direct hits. And when it had fallen, but men, fathers, who knew what it meant for that flag to be on the ground, although knowing that all of the British guns were trained on it, walked over and held it up humanly until they died. Their bodies were removed and others took their place. Francis Scott Key said what held that flagpole in place at that unusual angle were patriots' bodies. He penned the song, "Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Or the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that the flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet fly and wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?" The debt was demanded. The price, it was paid.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets break through, the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Oh, beautiful, for heroes proved in liberating strife. Who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine till all success be nobleness and every gain divine. When I was in school, you know, we used to sing it something like this. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties, above the fruited plain. Look here, I'm talking about America, sweet America. You know, God done shed his grace on thee. He crowned thy good, saving brotherhood from sea to
it is 6:44 the time. Make it 6:45, 15 minutes before the hour of 7. And let me say a pleasant welcome and good evening to Maurice Stewart. I shall respond to that request as soon as I get off, okay? And hey, let us be very, very honest. America is in fact a beautiful country. And if that was not so, a lot of us would not be here. Yeah? A lot of us would not be here. Yeah, quite a few of us were brought here. Quite a few people were brought here as children and so on. Didn't have a choice. But overall, it is not a bad place. It's just that we have a few bad people. Yeah? In some very sensitive areas and positions. And that are creating a lot of problems. There's absolutely no reason why we should be having racism. None. It's counterproductive. It is folly. Serious folly. The greatest resource any country is going to have are its people. Greatest resource. It's people. You know, we can look on India, we can take China. These places, these countries, they have billion people. Yeah. But guess what? They're not saying to them, look here, you cannot survive. We are going to target you to make sure that you don't fit in. We're going to stop you from doing anything progressive. We are going to hold you back. We're going to willfully hold you back. You will not be educated properly. You will not get the best of health care. We're going to make sure to provide slums for you people and so on. No. You're actually dumping quite a bit of your resource. Only needed to do something like that. It's been happening for too long. It is foolishness.
Healthy Living Health Food Store located at 3956 White Plains Road in the Bronx between 224th and 225th Streets, where you can purchase all your vitamins and other supplements, your vegan standard breakfast, lunch, and dinner Mondays to Saturdays. Get rid of diabetes with the Diabetes Be Gone, high blood pressure with the High Blood Pressure Resolve, high cholesterol with the Cholesterol Cleanse, fellows, all your prostate and bedroom problems with the Rooster Fixer, frequent and weak urination, the after dribble, erectile dysfunction, and premature ejaculation. And ladies, all the female health issues, get rid of them. Bring to our attention any other health concern you may have, because we do consultations Mondays to Saturdays from 12 noon to 7 p.m. Call to make an appointment. We also do mail order. The address is 3956 White Plains Road in the Bronx between 224th and 225th Streets, or call 718-798-0773. Again, 718-798-0773.
And remember, while there at Healthy Living, you can purchase or choose from our wide assortment of vegetable patties, your ackee, your collard, your kale, your lentil, your veggie beef, veggie fish, veggie chicken. Yeah? All of that, and then some you can purchase right there at Healthy Living Health Food Store. And yeah, your vegan standard pastry, your chocolate cake, your fruit cake, your banana bread. I mean, look, let's come on by Healthy Living and take a look around. Yeah? Also, your alkaline water you can purchase right there at Healthy Living Health Food Store. Don't forget, okay?
Marcus Hilton, Certified Public Accountants, located at 4226A White Plains Road at 234th Street in the Bronx, have been serving the public for over 30 years in the areas of income tax return preparation and all other income tax services, including payroll services, accounting services, and individual tax ID number preparation. If you do not have a Social Security number and would like to file your tax return, Marcus Hilton, Certified Public Accountant, is one of the few tax services registered with the IRS to assist with a tax ID number. They are experts in the tax laws, so they will find what other tax preparers miss, maximizing your dollar return. For the self-employed or corporate people, they are also experts in those areas. Marcus Hilton, Certified Public Accountant, is located again at 4226A White Plains Road at 234th Street in the Bronx. Their telephone number is 718-554-0640. Again, that's 718-554-0640.
It's been 10 years. Time has certainly flown by. The Let's Talk radio show with John Hines and Company is now being listened throughout the Northeast, Jamaica, the Southeast, and among places from all over the world. So come and celebrate our 10th anniversary awards dinner and dance at the Wembley Cricket Club on Saturday, June 30th, starting at 10 p.m. We're going for the very best this year. Our DJs are the famous DJ Roy of 93.5 FM and DJ Street Ruler of 92.9 FM. Our artists AZ, Tony Lowe, Derek of Derek's Auto. Awardees include Winston Pine, Winston Morgan, Dr. Lawrence Williams, DJ Roy, Courtney Smith, Donovan Griffiths, Miss Lois Williams, and a special thank you to all those who have listened or contributed to the show, including our co-hosts, Donovan Griffiths, Courtney Smith, and Michael Soares. Contributions are $40 single and $70 per couple. Dinner is included, and tickets are available at Moody's Records, Primetime Bakery, West Best Fish in Mount Vernon, through John Hines, Courtney Smith, or Donovan Griffiths. See you at our anniversary at Wembley's.
The award-winning Palace Peace and Love Academic Scholarship is appealing for your support to help educate one student at a time in Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Palace awarded 492 scholarships and several computers to university and high school students in Jamaica and the Caribbean over the past 7 years, valued at approximately 33 million Jamaican dollars, $250,000 US.
Importantly, our university graduates to date include 15 medical doctors, 10 lawyers, 6 engineers, and 15 fine arts students. Our goal is to award at least 105 scholarships in 2018.
Please partner with us to make this a reality for those well-deserving, hard-working students by making a tax-deductible donation online at www.palace1.org
or send a check to Palace, P.O. Box 5461, Alpharetta, Georgia 30023 USA, or telephone 770-744-2154.
Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
Start your morning with our delicious breakfast. The ackee and saltfish, the salt mackerel, the cook-up saltfish, the callaloo, the corned beef, the kidney and the liver. How about the saltfish and the okra? All served with boiled dumplings, yam, banana, or fried dumplings. All served with white rice, rice and peas, and steamed vegetable. Eat no stop this up. Try our most talked about porridge a man in time. The blend of oats porridge, the peanut porridge, the cornmeal porridge. Mamma mia! For soup lovers, on Fridays and Saturdays, go take soup. Don't forget to try our daily chicken foot soup for lunch and dinner. Chef Itu is always a winner. The jerk chicken, the brown stew chicken, curry chicken, baked chicken, fried chicken for the fish lovers. The fried fish, the brown stew fish, escovis fish, shrimp lovers. Visit Chef Itu on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Lovers of stewpies, visit Chef Itu on Thursdays and Saturdays. Come and visit us on Fridays for tripe and beans and sweet and sour chicken. Call us at 718-994-6532. 718-994-6532. Don't forget, we cater for all occasions. Chef Itu Restaurant, 4759B, White Plains Road. Call us at 718-994-6532. That's 718-994-6532.
Yes, indeed. That chef to the restaurant, and make sure that you, when you go on by, mention the Tony Ryan Showcase, and you will receive an incentive for doing so. Taking a moment to say pleasant good evening. Tony Bent, who joined us truly, a couple of moments ago, and also Howard Hilton. Thank you all for keeping us truly company and allowing us truly to share a little bit of your 24 hour, yeah? Really appreciate it. Wow, 6:55 the time, 5 minutes for the hour of 7. Looking at the clock on the wall, just tells me that I really have to put a wrap on this, yeah? Let me say thank you so much for allowing us truly in your space. Really do understand that you have many choices. You chose yours truly. I'm truly humbled by your choice. Thank you so much, yeah? We're going to do this again tomorrow, God's willing. Until then, listen, allow no one, absolutely no one, to convince you that you can't, because you do have the power to be whatever you want to be. Just keep it positive. Remember that life is a learning institution. All the answers you seek are right in front of you. Simply pay attention, because there's always a class in progress. No matter what, you keep smiling. Let the world wonder what the hell you've been up to. Until then, c'est le fou. Au revoir. Harambe.
Some people say we got a lot of malice, some say it's a lot of nerve. But I say we won't quit moving until we get what we deserve. We've been buked and we've been scorned. We've been treated bad, talked about, as sure as you born. Just as sure as it takes 2 eyes to make a pair. Brother, we can't quit until we get our share. Say it loud. Say it loud. One more time. Say it loud. I've worked on jobs with my feet in my hand. You know, all the work I did was for the other man. Now we done made the chance to do things for ourselves. We're tired of beating our head against the wall and working for someone else. Say it loud.